I'm Emerson. I've got to admit, even when I was a little kid, I always thought it'd be super exciting to work in a restaurant. Being a waiter or cook just seemed like a fun job with plenty of opportunities to be creative and create yummy food that makes people happy. However, the COVID-19 pandemic closed or limited people's abilities to gather in restaurants in 2020. Restaurants across the country have struggled to find enough workers. This workforce shortage has caused many restaurants to permanently close or reduce their hours of operation. There simply aren't as many people who want to work in restaurants as there used to be, although plenty of people still want good places to eat. Today, we are going to meet a woman who started her own restaurant and bakery in Pittsburg, Kansas. She'll share her story, introduce us to what restaurant manager does, and then give us advice about how to start a career in the restaurant industry. Let's go! I'd like you to meet Heather, the co-owner of not one, but two businesses in Pittsburg, Toast and Pittsburg Bread Company.
Hi.
Heather, can you tell us a little bit about your business and how you got started?
Absolutely. Growing up, I loved art, so I went to Pittsburg State University to pursue my passion for art. While I was in college, I started a small cake shop with my mom and fell in love with being a small business owner. Baking and decorating cakes blended my two loves, art and food, so I threw myself into learning to become a baker and an entrepreneur. We were so popular, the business grew in the first year and I needed help. My husband Roger quit his full-time job and came to work at the cakery. I taught him how to bake. Now, he is our head baker as well as co-owner of our businesses. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, it really hurt small bakeries like ours. To make a living, we turned to artisan bread baking to keep the lights on. We sold bread curbside each week. We started serving small pre-order takeout lunches at the cakery for fun. We saw a gap in the fresh food system and filled the need with locally sourced meals. Since the lunches went so well, we decided to open Toast. We have since closed the cakery and converted it to Pittsburg Bread Company.
Can you tell us a little bit more what you serve at Toast?
As you'd expect, most of our dishes are served on bread, either open-faced or as sammies. That's what we call sandwiches. But we also have salads, bowls, sides, brunch items, and of course, yummy fresh baked desserts. Some of my favorites are Chicky Chicky Bow Wow, which is a grilled and marinated chicken with chipotle ranch on an open-faced toast, or our Just the Dip, which is our twist on a classic French dip sandwich.
Okay, now I'm hungry. I hope to try some of those later.
Yes, I was thinking we would experience what it's like to cook in a commercial kitchen.
That would be awesome, but first, shouldn't I learn how to be a restaurant manager like you?
Well, a restaurant manager does a little bit of everything, like cooking. Before we opened, I worked on my own at home to create the menu, which meant doing a lot of research and trying out new ideas to create the right mix of items. Now I work closely with my head chef, Jerry, as well as with our other cooks to come up with new ideas. We try to keep our menu specials as seasonal and local as possible. When you run a small business, you have to be prepared to do whatever must be done. I find myself in the kitchen making food, taking orders, waiting on customers, cleaning tables, doing dishes, meeting with vendors, and hiring and scheduling employees. When I'm not busy working in the restaurant itself, I'm often doing behind-the-scenes work like bookkeeping and employee payroll, inventory and ordering of ingredients, marketing and social media. You name it, I do it. I have to know how to do pretty much everything because you never know when one of our employees might be sick or if they might need my help. Ultimately, I'm in charge of everything, so I work hard to make sure that my customers come back and tell their friends.
So there are lots of different jobs in restaurants, right? How many people work here and what do they all do?
Yes, there are about 15 people that work here at Toast and at Pittsburg Bread Company. Some people work front of house, which means they work outside the kitchen, helping to take orders and bring the food to our customers. They also are responsible for setting tables and cleaning them up and making sure customers have whatever they need to have a great experience. Some common jobs you've heard of in restaurants that would be considered front of house include a host who helps people get seated or manages people waiting for a table, a waiter who often takes orders and brings people food and drink, or a cashier who collects people's payments. But not every restaurant is set up the same way.
Cool, I think I'm ready to put on my chef hat and apron and give cooking a shot. I'm hungry.
Okay, let's take you into the kitchen and learn how to make something off the menu yourself.
Let's do it. Heather showed me how to make chicky chicky bow wow. We started by toasting the bread. While that was happening, we cut up the veggies and measured the chicken.
So we're gonna take chicken into that little tub, and you want 3 ounces.
Then we grilled the chicken, added the chipotle ranch sauce, and made it look beautiful by topping it with microgreens.
Look at you go. Very good. Good? Yep. Now we're gonna top it with our pickled onions, and that is the chicky chicky bow wow.
Looks really good.
Better put it in the window and ding the bell.
That was so good. I'd totally like to try to make that for my family when I get home.
Well, don't give away any of my secrets. Let me try. You did an awesome job. As you learned in the kitchen, being a chef is a lot of work, but it can be fun too. Other jobs in the kitchen include cooks who help make the entrees, sauces, salads, and sides in our restaurant under the direction of our head chef. At Toast specifically, we also greatly depend on the work of our head baker, Roger, and his team at the Pittsburg Bread Company. They make all the baked goods featured on our menu. There are also people who work in the kitchen or bakery focused on washing and preparing the ingredients for the cook, and others who keep the kitchen dishes and tools clean and sanitized. Again, as the manager, I know how to do all of these jobs in case I have to step in on any given day, and I make sure that everyone is doing their job as well as possible.
So what advice do you have for a kid who wants to manage a restaurant someday?
Definitely learn to cook. You could take culinary classes at school or learn from a family member. I'd also suggest to take some business classes because managers need to make business decisions like purchasing ingredients and taking care of accounting tasks like helping with employee payroll and paying bills. But most importantly, get a job working in a restaurant. Learn the best practices, including how to cook safely in the kitchen or how to make customers feel appreciated.
When the restaurant was open, Heather showed me some of the jobs in front of the house. I got to try filling waters in trays of popcorn. I helped carry food and waters to the table, and I watched her take orders at the counter. It was a lot of fun. I liked working in front of the house too.
Many people try out this type of work as a waiter or host. These make great jobs for high school and college students because the training to do this kind of work is relatively short. However, some people fall in love with working in restaurants and make a career of it. Some restaurants have full-time professional waiters who have a lot of knowledge about food and drink and enjoy giving customers an awesome experience.
Thank you, Heather, for sharing your career as a restaurant manager with us and introducing me to your team here at Toast. I had a lot of fun and enjoyed learning about these types of jobs in this industry. And don't forget to check out Toast Chicky Chicky Bow Wow. It's excellent. Check out HirePaths.com to learn about other high-demand careers in Kansas. Until next time, this is Emerson signing off in Pittsburg for Cool Careers. Have a great day.
You got the bread in you. Yeah.
Big head. Alright, so this is the regular white